And welcome to Sports Talk Line, where we talk sports 24/7, 365. This is the live quick reaction to the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys game that just went down. We did shows beforehand with both Tom, with myself, Nate. We made predictions. Tom, you watched the game, and oh my goodness, before we get started, please hit that subscribe, hit that notify button down below. Give us a retweet. I understand we're going out live on Twitter, live on a few places. This is quick reaction. Tom, go.
Well, I think, during the course of this game, I believe I sent a message out to you, Van, and a few other people that when we do this rapid reaction, the winner or loser of the game is not going to be the lead story. The lead story is the injury to Dak Prescott.
100%.
It looks like third quarter, Dallas Cowboys did a QB design run. When Dak Prescott went down, it looked like he broke his ankle. It looked like a severe injury, and Giant fans can relate. And it looks like a similar tackle to where Saquon Barkley blew out his ACL, where basically the defender was on his back. It looks like their feet got tangled enough, or the foot got stuck in the turf, and that's what caused the injury.
It's called bad luck.
Yes, it's called bad luck. And this was something, too, when he saw that injury, you don't need to be a doctor, but it's serious.
No, foot went that way. The rest of him went that way, and he's sitting there holding his leg here, and the foot
Whenever a player comes out and starts pointing immediately, that's when you know it's serious.
And then I'm watching on Twitter and all of the players. I'm watching the players' feed that I have of NFL players, and they're immediately responding. Dislocation, break, one of the two. Oh my goodness, I've had this. They know.
It's not good, and this is something. Dak Prescott.
It's horrible.
Yes, it's a horrible injury. What makes the matter worse is Dak Prescott's supposed to be a free agent. He didn't.
He gets 100% guaranteed this year. I do not blame him for holding out. And Tom, ultimately, this is why they hold out for the money, right? Because if he has like nerve damage, maybe never play again. That's why he's holding out.
It could be that too. But I'm going to throw a hypothetical out there for you, Van. Let's say the Dallas Cowboys all of a sudden start winning a few games, and Jerry Jones is like, know what? I'm going to stick with Andy Dalton. I'm going to let Dak Prescott walk. You want to know what would be absolutely irony? If Dak Prescott joins the New York Giants. I think that would be absolute irony. Well, he can go together because Jason Garrett went over when Dak was hurt to check in on him. You didn't see Jerry Jones come out.
Good relationship there.
Good relationship.
Garrett never lost that locker room. Never lost the locker room. Okay? I mean, those players played hard for him up until the final game. I cannot say that they've been playing hard for Mike McCarthy. Let's shift that way just a little bit. This is the hardest I've seen the defense play, and they didn't really play all that hard until Dak went down. So they got all emotional.
Well, I think the Dallas Cowboys gave up 34 points at home.
Hey, that's a season low for them, isn't it?
This is the first time the New York Giants had a lead in the fourth quarter this season.
I don't think the Dak Prescott thing is going to happen next year for the obvious reason is Jones did not suck. Did he give up a turnover? Yes. But I tell you what, I like what Tony Romo was saying. He's noticing where Jones is carrying the ball. He's carrying the ball in a different location now, making guys go through him instead of carrying it over here where they can just slap the ball. And so he is doing better. And once he was moving out, he's mobile, he throws downfield. I mean, I think you saw a little bit about what could happen once they get things clicking. They're missing the pieces to make it work. Only the Dallas Cowboys defense made it look good today.
But here's my counterpoint. This is the third game. Daniel Jones had an opportunity to give the Giants a win or a tie. The Giants got the ball with under 2 minutes left. They had one timeout. They're only able to pick up one first down. They didn't take – I mean, part of that is the New York Giants only had one timeout in their pocket. I think the play for whatever – and you kind of knew Tony Romo was hinting at it. You know this was going to come back and haunt the Giants, and it did. And this was a situation where all he had to do was maybe pick up a few first downs. He picked up one. He wasn't able, he moved around. With Daniel Jones, he looks uncomfortable very quickly.
Well, Tom, I don't even like the conversation because we're saying he picked up the first down. He did this. He did that. No, he did not. This is the ultimate team sport. Now, I realize that QBs get all the credit when they win. All right. If you don't believe me, just ask Dan Marino, who got none of the credit for the Super Bowls he lost. But moving on from that, it is not the QB's fault. You can only play the hand that you're dealt. I thought Daniel Jones looked better every week that he's played this season.
I think I would say one person who looked phenomenal today for the Giants was Darius Slayton.
Yo, dude.
He was, you thought CeeDee Lamb was great. Darius Slayton put up better numbers.
But that's a connection between him and Jones. You got to give Jones a little credit for that, okay?
And this was the Giants did pick up some red zone touchdowns.
What about Lawrence getting injured there? That was horrible. Was it first play of the game?
I'm not sure. I have to look back at it. He might have got hurt. But also, let's talk.
Yeah. He went out on a cart, man. First play of the game.
Oh, Lorenzo Carter.
Lorenzo Carter. My mistake.
Lorenzo Carter. Yeah, looks like Achilles. The cart came out a lot at this game.
Oh, just brutal.
And
man.
I'll say this, since we're gonna change up. The Giants had 2 touchdowns called back on penalties.
Oh, actually, I've got that on my list right here.
Yeah.
First of all, I would have loved to have heard Coach Judge's speech at halftime. Okay, about specifically what happened just before the half when they totally boned it through lack of discipline. And he's an ex-special teams coach, so he had that play in his pocket. He had that play in his pocket, and he was ready.
He did, and Evan Engram had a good game today.
Oh, yes.
He did the signal.
Red zone target, Tom. How many times have you talked about that?
Yeah, I think, it was just if Cam Fleming got set a second earlier, did that impact the play? No,
not at all. None whatsoever.
Except
they called it back. Other than that, no.
And then you can call the pick play, I guess, on Slayton.
That was not a freaking pick play. Yeah, they called him on a pick. The wide receiver's allowed to run his pattern.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that was a horrible call. I'm looking at it from the Dallas Cowboys side. I looked at that and went, "Oh, ref, who do you have money on?" That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
There was a lot. So those were some plays, that come back and haunt. But when you're a team that's 0-5, you're 0-5 for a reason. Cowboys fans might celebrate, but the combined record of the two.
Well, Cowboys fans aren't going to celebrate. And let's start off with right now. I don't have any easy way to slide this across the line. For anybody out there who is talking about the Dak injury and going like, well, he had a chance to sign a longer contract. Okay, are we done with that conversation? All right. The next thing is one thing that came out of this is once Dak went down, they decided to let Ezekiel Elliott run the football instead of Zach. Wow. I thought that worked out really good for the Cowboys, all sorts of ways. They were actually running the football more this game, which I thought was great for them. They had the 7-minute drive. They took time off the clock. They let their defense rest. Oh, my goodness. The defense didn't know what to do. They came back on the field out of breath, out of habit. Okay, I mean, just like, okay, this is the way we're supposed to be. And so it just, boom. But I think there's only one way that the Dallas Cowboys can make this game really good news, and that's to fire Mike Nolan now.
I would say the good news is depending on how Andy Dalton plays.
There is no good news. Even if the Cowboys do well, go down, whatever, Andy Dalton is not going to win them a Super Bowl. All he's going to do is screw up their draft pick. That's it. The Cowboys without Prescott are not going to do anything significant this season. They're going to do okay. I mean, I think they will. I think they're going to get back to the running game, which they should have done. I think it's going to force Coach McCarthy, and that's going to be that. Let's flip it around to the Giants side. The pressure was on Jason Garrett, and man, he came out swinging, didn't he?
He did. They had a few trick plays or gimmick plays that they were successful. They did looked like double reverse. They did a flea flicker action. Evan Engram had a few rushing yards. He got the first rushing touchdown. He made a great play. to go up. The Giants actually had a lead of 17-3, which was, I think Giant fans were kind of waiting for the roof to cave in anyway.
Yeah, they were.
It's just out of habit. And, the Cowboys had that big drive, and the next play, Daniel Jones. It's like, this is the frustration with Daniel Jones, right? So it's 3rd and long. He throws the ball off his back foot, connects on a first down. Great. This is phenomenal. Pick it up. Next play, Lawrence goes around Andrew Thomas, sack, fumble, Cowboys return for a touchdown. And that tie ball game, just like that. It's,
Well, at least you can criticize your quarterback. I can't say anything about Dak Prescott because he got injured. Okay, I can't talk about that pick that he threw in the first. I can't talk about the bad decisions that he made.
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk about those because he got hurt. But
Well,
let's be frank here. There's 2 things going on. One, has Dak Prescott, well, actually several things going on. Has Dak Prescott proven himself yet? No, because just like Tony Romo, you prove yourself in the postseason, not the regular season, okay? So, he is where he is. 2, he's been turning the ball over. He's been having issues, and he's been making some throws, hitting defenders in both hands. It's not like they're making a great play to make the interception. So he's got some decision issues there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I think so. I believe, was it Andy Dalton who was in it, or it might have been Dak Prescott when James Bradbury ran the route for Amari Cooper.
Yes.
I'll tell you this: Amari Cooper, for the most part, was a non-factor because not
till the very end.
James, he made one play in that drive. James Bradbury is playing.
I'm okay with that. When you got 4 wide receivers like you have out there, mm-hmm. I think the mistake you make is going to the same one every week. The Cowboys have been going to a different guy every week. They've been moving the ball around. I love that. I don't have a problem with that. As long as Amari Cooper doesn't have a problem with it, he shouldn't. He's getting paid. It's great. Let CeeDee Lamb step up. Let Gallup stand up. Let Wilson step up. That's great. Move the ball around. That's Patriots football. That worked out pretty well for them. I'd say about 6 times. Of course, it could have been 8, but there was one team that got in the way.
Yes, some guy. I heard his nephew's doing a good job down at Newman High School.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, look, let's wrap this up. New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, NFC East. This was the best team in the East playing the worst team in the East, or at least it was by the time they played, because Philly had already goated it.
Who's the best? Who's the worst?
And it happened. That's my. Oh, you read my cheat sheet. At halftime, they were 4 points apart, and it was anybody's game up until the very end. So, who is the best team in the East? I ask you. The Giants. I don't think you guys are out of it.
No, I don't think they are. That doesn't mean they're in it either. This is kind of like who's the best league at the state fair. The Giants, when Eli Manning retired, they went into a rebuild. They have a very difficult schedule. The Dallas Cowboys are number 1 in the NFC East with a record of 2-3. The combined record of the teams the Cowboys beat is 0-10. They have not been able to beat someone who has beat another team.
Okay. That's okay. What matters is you win, because the Cowboys have the easiest schedule in the league for the remaining of the season, according to win-loss record. Mm-hmm. So, that's what they have to keep doing, is beating the teams that they should beat, which they haven't really done it. Anyhow, but look, on the Giants, who do you feel good about right now?
Slayton is one. James Bradbury was another. I was going to say Lorenzo Carter, but it looks like he got hurt.
Golden.
Oh, not Golden. Well, no, I give credit for Golden because he has been playing a lot, but he did come in after Carter got hurt.
Exactly.
He did get called for a costly face mask, which kind of.
Yes, he did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
This is the first game that I will say that penalties hurt the Giants. Usually there's very few penalties. It was just very frustrating, I think, when 2 of them came. To say the if would those penalties be called in MetLife Stadium?
Ooh. Well, all right. Here's my take. See if you agree or disagree with me. I think both teams are so alike. If their best players, okay, Dak, Zeke, Jones, hold on to the football, they got a chance to win. Either team.
I would. This is
I
where
mean, seriously, is that statement incorrect?
I think the Giants red zone efficiency. The difference between the Cowboys and the Giants. Cowboys can finish off drives.
But you get 3 touchdowns in 3 minutes or some crap like that. I don't want to hear about red zone efficiency. You guys blew it up in the red zone today. And what you were talking about, finally having a red zone target for the Giants, you came up with today, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's also too. I think there's a lot of times when, because the Giants they don't have that threat to pound them in. They were able to score, I think, to eventually take the lead that they relinquished twice. When I think Freeman is also something to be positive too.
Yeah, I thought Freeman and Gallman both looked solid.
Yeah,
I think Garrett is a lot more comfortable with running backs that have that skill set than they do Saquon Barkley's skill set. I don't think Garrett's wrapped his mind around how to deal with that. I thought this was a much better look at a Jason Garrett offense. I think next week's going to tell the tale, though, man.
I think the offensive line did play better. They did actually were able to get some ball movement and move the defensive line at times. It's just all it takes is one bad play to erase everything. The Giants have the knack for doing that.
And both teams found that out tonight. Look, for everybody out there listening, that's it for now. We're going to can it out. Put down in the comments below who you think is going to do better in the NFC East as we move forward. Because, hey, I know the Cowboys are in first, but by what, a game and a half? It's like, forget it. It's anybody's division in the NFC East. I'm Stephen Vanover. You find me at Twitter at Stephen Vanover. You find Tom McAllister, Mr. New York Giants, hanging out in New York City. On Twitter, you'll find him at defins_com. You see it right there on the screen, defend_com. This has been the New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys post-game live reaction, quick reaction. And this is on the Sports Talk Line Network. Thank you all so much for being here. And until next time, listen like you play with intensity. Go Cowboys, go Giants, right?
Yeah. Thank you.